just cutscenes. Oh yeah, so I mean this is almost negligible, but you can just like extend your smoke dash there straight to the car. Okay. Also, another like you go fast by jumping. It's faster than the jogging animations they have going. Although I don't think it makes a difference because you still have to wait for dialogue in the first place. So now, sometime after this run, not too long after, we found a way to skip this cutscene here that, or not this cutscene, but this animation here. And basically, what you do is you you go through this gate, and you jump up on this thing here, and then you dash onto the roof, and then that'll take you right up here, and you can dash through that vent. I'll have to like something in post, and then that right there, it's a small optimization. You can skip the landing animation by immediately smoke dashing. Nothing too crazy. It's just 1 second save. Okay, so I might have to go back and just kind of watch this, and then go back and um this fight you pretty much just have to memorize where Hank is gonna go. Uh, it's a lot of healing sort of thing. Yeah, so 2 hits and then run. I guess it also might be part of RNG. It's been a very long time since I've actually done this, so I'm a, I'm assuming. Yeah, there's also that. So right here, you have to wait just a little bit before you can hit them. As you can see, my chain did my chain did nothing for the first 2 hits. Yeah, for the first hit, and then I you gotta time this perfectly. Delay it by maybe like another half second to a second. So okay, like you have to wait for him to get into that pose there. Let me see if I can. This pose here. That's when he's able to get hit. And this cutscene. And then basically for all the karmic choices, you're just gonna hold R2. Right. So you just go into I mean, a lot of this is just being fast. And here uh you'll see I set up to hit all 4 of them at once. Positioning, I hit those 2 at the same time. Same thing here. So there's a tiny bit of optimization here. Once you cross this area roughly, the game will force you to walk. So you want to jump and then dash, and that will get you a short distance ahead. So for this fight here, you're going to want to be spamming Cinder Blasts and trying to hit as many as you possibly can, and this will go on until you get Cinder Missiles. I could have swore there was some sort of optimization there, but I can't. I think again, it's more feeling. And then for this, you just kind of take a straight line over there. Going correct. There's another pretty good, you know, few seconds that you can save here by the end of this cutscene. Basically, when the screen goes black, and I'll try and get there now, you can actually dash right here. Now, what you want to do is you want to dash. If I can back it up enough. You want to hold the stick sort of, instead of going here, you want to move it sort of over to the left here, just a little bit. Because if you go too far, what can happen is you can get stuck in this little corner here. You can just get stuck here, and that's obviously a dead run. So if you do it right, you'll go straight over the rail. I actually didn't even go through it, but it worked out. So these guys you can skip. You just go straight to the next objective, which is the whatever that vehicle is. And this is where you will have to take out all the guys. This is where you just cinder blast your way to victory because you don't have cinder missiles yet. So yeah, if you see any guys that surrender like that, you can skip them. It'll be hostile. Um, Sometimes the dudes will get one shot. I believe it's based on proximity. If they don't get one shot, you can finish them off, and that is also viable. That. The main reason you want to take out all the guys in the first place is purely because they will shoot you while you're trying to open this up. Yeah, okay. So shards are pretty important because there are a lot of good upgrades that you can get that'll help you save time. And you can get all four of these shards here during the dialogue and still have time to get to the body. And after that cutscene, you get your upgrades here. Quick drain especially is really important. That one I think is wired. And you see you can use this explosive here to immediately break that. And you can use the core to cover yourself from those mobs. Okay, so that third dash I was referring to, I have double dash here, and if you're on the ground, you can dash off, and it looks like I was actually midair for a split second there. That's why I didn't get the third dash there. Okay. This is another thing where I kind of use this little corner here for cover, and it doesn't work. In this case, they threw a grenade at me. Uh, that's one of those things you have to kind of be careful about. Uh, I don't even know where that guy was, but
Don't troll.
yeah, that'll happen.
I hate when they do that though.
So I think at this point, uh, you just wait for dialogue. But by this point, no. Yeah. So at this point, you just look for shards. I think there's one flying around here. Oh no, it's just on the ground. Okay, yeah.
Wow, for once I can actually
I
have a
think
chance
you
to
get
get
around two or
more
three here.
shard over there, but I'm not going
Not
to
too bad.
because I can get this like
A lot of the shards that I get, if not every single one,
lamppost,
are
and that's kind of
during dialogue,
worst case
where you're
scenario.
forced to wait.
Worst case scenario, you get one
And
lamp.
usually by the end of the run, you have more than enough to get all the upgrades that you need.
Oh well, ish. The same amount of till fetch. I don't think I'm gonna be able to save the same amount of time as before, but
So Space Needle. Um, so I get rid of that early. Uh, I don't even remember why, but
actually there is a way to save
we
time
will
actually because
we'll see later, and
last
I'll try
run
and explain. Just
I
wait for the quest here.
accidentally destroyed a suspicion pen, and Reggie got angry at me, and it
So
it caused me to lose
you
probably 40
could
seconds if I ended.
Mega Vent up here. The problem is it doesn't actually trigger any of the dialogue,
That was good.
and that basically means that you can't actually continue. This is one of the main problems with the speedrun is that a
This
lot of
is
events are triggered by
very good climb
dialogue
with my other
or
teammates.
otherwise like enemy aggression in some cases. So you are forced to climb this, unfortunately. The moment you get at the top, though, you can just
Yes,
dash straight back into the vent
good activation.
instead of
Last
actually
run,
climbing it.
not that
You
I
can
think it
skip
was
all of
good.
these
It was
guys,
good. Some of them were
go
bad.
straight into the vent, cutscene. And then this fight is kind of a pain. If you see more than one dude there, you just cinder missile. Or you can cinder missile this guy. Uh, Basically, you just want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Now, I think
Of course.
sometimes they will surrender early. Uh,
Okay.
like you'll see there, they're surrendering,
That was actually
and then you
a
can start
quite good
attacking
activation.
the anchor. Or actually, it's actually just dialogue, and then that gets you the core relay. Okay.
I kind of dislike
Still trying to remember all of this.
comparing runs.
And then the range on the kick is pretty big, so you can use that to your advantage there. And then what I do here is just like very minor optimization where you can land on this, you know, sort of distance.
I hope Mohawk can
But eh,
join in the party.
negligible. So of course the best strat of all time, you have to go with the donkey every time. All right, there's just no other way around it. You can't complete the run without picking the donkey. Okay, that's just a requirement.
Alright. In my game, Zeepsy. How are we doing? Please turn back.
Interesting. I actually don't
Please turn
even
back.
think there was a reason to destroy it. So okay,
Okay, this should be fine. Wait 20 seconds.
here. So apparently I'm trying to do a,
Uh,
a standing strat. And this is something that happens actually later on during the run. Um,
okay, great. And let's continue
and
on.
usually this
See
just
if this
affects
standing
how
strat
long
works. I really hope it did. If not,
the
then I'm
quest
gonna
will
be
actually appear.
upset.
Because this is one of those times where it's like the game wants you
But
to free roam.
I'm pretty sure it worked.
So we're going
If
up
not, then
here.
I'm gonna be kind of sad.
we're killing all the enemies that are on the highest roof because
Wasn't there
most of the enemies are going to be killed by the
and
orbital drop,
I think I didn't
the
listen
land
long enough, and now Reggie's not saying
at the
anything.
bottom.
This might be bad. This might be bad.
This also just takes care of the actual APC.
Hopefully he
Don't
says
have to break the sides. And then here's where I will jump cancel drain. And this will pretty much allow for Cinder Missile spam. Yeah, well, I guess I just use it once, but I guess it's enough.
one guy left. There he is.
The main thing is you want to take out, well, you want to take out as many people as you can that are just shooting at you, really. You'll see there's a surrender.
But for some reason Reggie's angry
If
at me.
anyone shoots you here,
So
they just
I'm really
interrupt you.
worried in order to get Reggie's the timer to go down. Let's hope that I am wrong about this.
So it's pretty much by this point, we're just waiting for a quest to.
Oh my god.
So ideally, in this situation, you'd have the quest here
Enough.
immediately.
Okay.
It took. It looks like almost a minute maybe after just getting here,
Good job, DUP.
which is pretty much why I was trying out that wait strat was to see if I could manipulate the
Thank you,
timer.
DUP.
So
Okie dokie. That
one
worked out
thing
just fine.
that I've been sort of able to replicate is moving
That worked out
early
just fine.
during that little mini cutscene there. If I remember correctly, you actually walk, but
Now though.
I'm not entirely sure.
Crap. If I can
And then
somehow get that to just land somewhere, then that'll be good.
here, there's actually a minor skip here as well that I've been unable to replicate, and you'll see why. Like this is why I'm trying to just fire into the sky, is because my theory was that you can get into combat with
Okay, that's
DUP
the missile.
and skip this idle animation here after taking those pictures. So you see I'm waiting here 5 seconds, 10
He's right
seconds,
there. Oh
15
my god,
seconds,
he's right there. And what if I
etc.
get stuck? Oh my god.
And
Yo,
what
okay, so
happened
I'm gonna
one
have to
time,
walk here.
only one time, and I've been trying to figure this out since I saw it,
Oh,
was
now
that
start shooting at me.
I was able to move. I was able to move early before the dialogue
Strat.
ended, and that would be a fairly big time save too.
And now I have no smoke at all. Crap.
So again, take the high ground.
Alright, well, backup strat.
You want to take out the as many guys up on the roofs as possible,
Where
and
is he?
then immediately orbital drop.
I hope I did.
And then ideally, this should take out everyone on the ground level. However, you'll probably have some stragglers like back here, because you'll see I this guy tends to just be there.
Okay, please. No, this guy. It's all based. It's partly based on RNG. Partly based.
So once you get to this point, you can just run past fetch, and
Okay.
then once you get to this point, you can actually turn back and collect some shards while you're waiting. Yeah, so the "Don't be greedy" is the dialogue that allows you to start this cutscene. I got there just in time, if not like
58 minutes
second or
long.
two late.
Exactly 58. Oh, it's
Now,
on the mega event.
there's another small skip here that I've also been unable to replicate,
That one's one
and
of my
it's
favorites,
again,
but I messed it
at
up
least in
just trying to
theory,
beat
you
that.
get into combat, and that allows you to
That's one of
move
the things that
earlier, and that
really
can
got
save
me going a lot.
5 seconds or so, however long I was standing there.
The other thing, although I'm pretty sure I'm close.
So instead of going through this vent,
I feel like my explanation
I
too
think you
simple
can
for
just go straight to the next objective. Uh, I think it was during a later run that I fixed this, because this is a little bit of
So now
back
how much of the
unnecessary
run have
backtracking.
you watched? If you watch the ending of her face, strat,
Right.
total
One thing to
opposite.
note is around this area, there's a possibility of an APC roaming around. So you want to try your best not to be seen by them. Otherwise, this will really screw you over in time. It'll put you in combat and the mission won't
I
show up.
accidentally destroyed the suspicion pen that's in March or April.
This fight is basically just memorizing where she's gonna go.
So I mean,
So there is a way to use your neon dash before this running animation where the camera locks on to fetch. It's not too big of a deal if you miss it, but it is
oh yeah, I saw
there
your tower
for
crawl.
optimization. And then right here,
And fail.
you can use the rails here, and what happens is you get stuck in an animation. Uh, this one here, if I can. Yeah, so this animation here. And you keep your momentum. So you actually just keep sliding forward at full speed without having to stop and then dash again.
That's like 2 or 3
Uh,
times
there's so many times where you can get
total,
screwed
but
over,
it is
and I
definitely
might
worth
have
it.
to just like watch
The
it and
running
then go
entries
back and explain what's going on.
obviously much faster because of the fact that you don't need to reset
The
the
first thing to note is
this
that
running is
you want to know where she's going,
you're bound to
and
fall
then
off
you
the
want to
edge,
use
so
those signs as cover.
you would have to like reset the
Just first
strat.
things first.
Please don't go right. She went right. Usually, if Fetch is like the biggest troll in the world, she'll go
Yeah.
and she'll troll
So
you with this neon sign.
the sign part isn't too bad. Again, it's mostly just positioning yourself to where you can't be hit.
And sometimes at that neon sign. That one's also kind of iffy. Okay, not terrible. She's shooting me a lot though, which is not
So I think
terrible.
the reason I'm jumping, I don't remember if this is the case, but I think you
Although
get
this fight
stun
is
locked if
actually
you get shot at.
very, very good right now. Wow, I am surprised at this fight so far. Oh
And
wow,
then
I
you'll
am.
see sometimes she'll hide behind cover. Uh,
Although just because of that little bit right there, it's not perfect.
yeah, and so you can see there I got
Although just because
stun
of
locked.
that little bit right there, it's not perfect.
So
Sadly.
I think jumping is a good way to avoid that from happening. Again, for this karmic choice, you just hold R2.
And it's there.
Should be the redeem fetch. Yep.
But yeah.
You see, I'm trying to utilize the flip and slide, as I apparently called it.
But yeah, the trash cans.
I think ideally for movement,
Oh,
you would do this where you move over an object and then reuse your
oh yeah,
neon
platforms.
run. And it's just more of like a keeping momentum kind of thing.
Practical thing.
It's also very minor, so
Well, I mean,
it's not too
the
much to
Mega
worry
Pixel
about.
one is pretty practical, but you can't really do anything else.
And then you can get to this building
But you're
before
able to find
fetch spawns and all that. So
ways to
yeah, again, it's point A, point B.
I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I tried to use the stasis bubble to break it. I missed. So just
I
another
don't know how that.
way to save time. Yeah,
Okay,
a
yeah.
lot of this area is
So
just
one thing that
memorizing where you have to go
he told
and
me
then just
that
taking a straight line to it.
is on the boss at
It's
the
pretty much this
bridge.
entire section, at least until
You said you can
yeah
respawn
the
there.
actual mission.
Does that help at all?
So again, you can use
So the
the
boss
grenade
at
here. I
the
don't
bridge.
this bubble. I don't remember.
Something is destroy the bridge. Destroy
And then something to
a.
keep in mind, you actually have to use your
You have
super
to
here.
destroy the bridge panels. Oh really? I agree. That I guess levels will sometimes
Okay?
decide not. Why?
You just wait.
So it also the bonus.
So
Wow, I almost fell in the water.
let me see what I do exactly here. I think the key thing here, especially for this first one, is that you don't get into
I think
combat.
this is. I think last run
That
was
way you
pretty
can
good.
immediately do these objectives.
Oh really? Okay, I see.
It's also just memorizing which ones are
I see now.
actually the target.
Okie dokie. Door in troll. And fail. Really? If there's a way you could find, you can if you can shoot him when he's in the water,
I get that shard because I'm waiting for
then I guess that would help.
the sequence.
Maybe.
And then after this
For
point,
some reason, this sniper doesn't even know I'm here. Like, why? There we go.
yeah.
And those guys are
So
running
yeah, the
away.
sniper just kind of bugged out, I guess. But basically, the moment you spray that,
I don't even
the
know I'm
best
here.
thing to do is to die.
Okay, that was really bad.
The quicker you die, the
So
better it is.
bad, apparently.
That way you can immediately go in with a whole lot less enemies.
So much no
And
buff.
yeah, they're pretty much all grouped up in this area here. This is pretty much where you don't want to miss your shots at all.
Hit them headshots. There we go. That happened. Wow, that was really quick. That happened.
And another thing to keep in mind is that
Wow, that was really quick.
the radar can show you if they're surrendering or not. And of course, the dialogue
Next thing
also
you know,
started, so
wait,
that's
why am I
another
not
thing
healing?
to
That was.
to kind of give that away.
I'll have to mess with that because I do have a save
And I
that's
think what
like
I'm doing here is I'm getting a shard
literally everywhere.
because I think a cutscene is supposed to start.
Out enough?
Yeah. So I'm just grabbing these shards here,
Testing purposes mainly.
and then this is one of those times where you can't skip
Sometimes.
ahead. If you already know where the truck is going, then it really doesn't hurt to grab these shards.
I miss.
And you'll see I'm
I missed so badly.
trying to kill the enemies before the truck actually gets there to try and optimize the fight a little bit. But I'm failing miserably, so that's nice.
Well, this is sad. I don't even know why she disappears. Like, I'm not sure what kind of mechanic would cause that at all.
Really, ideally, you just have them all gone by the time the truck gets there. That way, you don't have to do anything.
The dialogue was so that the death strat was like forever.
More.
Oop,
Okay. Oh, one thing you can do
oop.
is you can use the cars for a little bit of extra momentum. It's not really nothing too big,
It wouldn't have reset your timer though. It
but
wouldn't have been so
hey.
bad.
And in this fight,
Using
actually,
the arrow keys, it's very useful.
uh, I
It's
don't know
very
how that second guy didn't get, but ideally you would want to take these guys out at the same time,
it's very useful.
make it a little easier, save
Usually
some
kill these
time.
guys. Well, actually, that fourth guy was supposed to sprint
You
there, but
you
I killed him
could skip
because
them.
well,
They are
actually that fourth
skippable. However,
they'll be aggroed and
they
trace
will shoot
and
you
recruiting, which is incredibly annoying.
during this fight, and that can
Yeah,
potentially kill you. So,
yeah.
best thing to do is to just kill.
Nope. Everybody was here because and make the conduit
Now,
jump
the
so
main thing
fast.
with this fight is you can actually use your stasis bubbles to deal a ton of damage to him.
Don't know how that worked, but okay.
You want to try
There
and
we go.
hit him
No,
while
I
he's
missed.
moving there. And you want to use, you'll see there, I
There
missed
we
my
go.
missile. Missiles are also a
No,
good
I
way
missed.
to kill him.
Nice.
So as long as you can
Why?
hit your stasis bubbles and not miss your missiles at all, this fight should be really, really easy.
Nope. Nope. Yes.
Now,
I shot or I
basically what I'm doing here is,
basically what happened was
stop at me,
you are
I'm trying to get
for
my
some
karmic streak up.
unknown reason
That
able to
way I
manipulate
can use it
arrow keys. It's like really whatever.
on this right here. And you have to
Well, I
get
know.
rid of this in order to start the next mission. So
Also, pain. I mean,
using the
this
karmic
fight is
streak
almost a pain in
here
the butt.
just makes
For
this
sure, a pain in the butt. Except for that turret.
a non fight.
Except for sometimes RNG might destroy the turret because
Yeah,
of the
apparently sometimes the turrets don't
which
even
almost
blow
never
up. I
happens
think it
with
might have to do
that
with
turret.
where the enemies are positioned because they explode after they're
Except for
taken up
sometimes
here. So
RNG might destroy the turret
just
because
keep
of
that
the
in mind.
which
Can't
almost never
destroy the
happens. So
turret there. You can always just do it manually.
and there's a DUP still alive.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I'm
by this
pretty sure
point,
he
I'm just
missed us.
collecting as many shards as I possibly
I was
can
thinking about
while
the
I'm waiting
turret.
for dialogue. Okay.
Alright, timing. Okay, so I that support that's supposed to spawn right there, right when this cutscene activated. And basically, you don't want to ever do it because
Okay.
it's completely gone, but it still shows up as a mission marker.
So
And
what I'm saying there, if you didn't hear, is basically you don't want to destroy the beams
it's completely
before the
gone,
cutscene, otherwise
but it's still.
it'll
I'm not
break.
even. I'm not even sure why it did
So
that either. Like,
don't do that. I think you can use yeah, stasis bubble there, and then once again I'm just out
and
trying to get
right away, I'm
shards.
probably only gonna
I
get 50
actually
shards
go
now.
back to
Thanks, DUP.
the
You're
APC
so
thing,
great.
and then I just
You're
grab these
so
shards.
great. I'm doing great, Vortex.
So since we don't have our super just yet, we're actually gonna go back to smoke. Mostly because cinder missiles are,
You didn't die so
and
far.
the
Derp.
forgot what it was called, but
This
the
is gonna
when
be a
you
bad
hold
fight.
R2,
Yeah, this is gonna be a bad
that's those are probably the most efficient moves outside of
Well,
your karmic
that's
streak.
not fun.
So gotta be careful not to run out
What?
of your
What?
super.
No. No, please don't. Please don't do this.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my god. Why?
So
What?
let me see what happened here.
What?
It looks like
What?
I just
No.
completely missed
No,
my
please
cinder
don't. Please
missile.
don't do this.
Uh,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Why?
you want to have your karmic streak here. The faster you get it, the better. You just immediately use it and wipe everyone out.
But for that. Nope, it didn't. Strat, please work.
So something to note
I don't think
here
it's gonna work. Nope.
is you can actually smoke dash while the screen is black here. And
I don't think it's gonna
I
work.
don't know exactly
I've played this
how
game
to optimize
many
this
times.
because
I've speedrun this,
I've experimented with this and
and for
it's
some reason,
random.
people are
Or
shocked
probably
that
not
I
random.
play
The
this.
only thing I could really guess is that it's completely dependent on where your camera is turned, but that's
Speedrun
again
games
just a guess.
on this.
Further testing is required,
What?
but you can save maybe a few seconds from.
So my PB here, I failed this strat, so I think I should be fine.
And
Hopefully.
yeah, that level up that we got earlier, we want to use the orbital drop here to clear it out quicker.
At the moment, yes.
And
I do
you'll
have the
see
world record for being
big
spent on
big dude spawn.
nobody
You
but
can
me.
just melee your way
As far as I know.
away, grab neon and run.
Can I? It's totally going to be a thing. Did I search it? Crap. I didn't search it.
Okay, yeah.
Did I?
Don't do what I do. You want to make sure you actually hit this here. So otherwise
Search
you'll
it?
lose time like I did.
I didn't search it.
Looking back at it, this run is actually pretty terrible.
I saw you actually go live.
This quest is basically just go here, go here, go there. Same
That
thing
was a
as
complete
fetch.
and utter failure. Oh, but at least I
Um,
can beat these guys to death.
I think this one. Okay, so cinder missiles
I don't
again,
read the
the most efficient
menus.
thing that you can possibly use.
Where are you?
You want. I think you want to be careful not to blow
I
yourself up
don't.
like
I
right
don't
here,
want.
but not too
That's
big
good
of a
redstone.
deal. And then the main thing is that
Dodo army?
I found neon to be
I don't
more
know.
efficient
Duck army.
than
Ducks
smoke
army.
in terms of the karmic streak, just because it has that sort of double whammy there. It insta kills these guys, and then they blow up and kill any potential stragglers. It's just the best super, in my
No,
opinion.
my name is Kobe. I think he's probably 10, maybe.
Uh,
He's probably around.
just let
He's
the
probably
conduit go here.
maybe. Yeah, he's probably around 10.
While you're waiting for dialogue, you can just grab
Because
these two.
around.
Actually, after this shard, you go to the area where the some enemies spawn right in this alleyway. You just wait here for the dialogue to end.
No,
You wait for the dudes to spawn, and then you run
totally a
straight
failure.
to
Trying
the
to kill you
construction
guys
site.
because I forgot to do that.
I think. Okay, yeah, no. So again, this is not just another one of those times where you can collect a bunch of shards while you're waiting for dialogue.
Well, you don't need
I
to do
don't think
that
there are
so
any ways to
you
optimize
can
this
have a
either.
clock tower.
Oh no, no, no.
Because
I
if
think
that
there's
happens, you won't
one
be able to
bit
use it.
here that you can do to prevent Reggie from bugging out.
So
And
basically, when you see your meter go.
so sometimes he will overshoot this and he'll get stuck here for a few seconds. So you can do is you kind of block his way
Pretty
and
much backed
he'll
out.
run straight in there.
From that experience that I've heard, it is
All right. So the main thing here is you want to use your stasis bubbles. That's like by far the most efficient way to do it, aside from missiles. Pretty straightforward stuff. Uh, you do want to keep in mind that these are shields, so you want to kill the angels here, and then you can throw your stasis bubbles,
That was a good phosphor beam shot. Wow.
and then just, of course, you don't want to miss. I think that's probably the most important thing to keep in mind here. So you can see that this can definitely be optimized. I played that pretty poorly.
I've gone.
So the Eugene fight, I grabbed smoke specifically because you want to start out
More or less.
just by cinder missiling. Uh, and the strat for this is basically you're going to jump cancel, and what you want to do in order to use infinite sort of resources here is you want to be holding on to a ledge, or there's actually another thing. If you're on like a small ledge like this, where Delson is like balancing, that is also a way to jump cancel a resource. Yeah, once you use your 4 missiles, you can drain. You don't have to jump cancel there because you can teleport it out. And I think it does take 4 missiles in order to phase him.
Very good enough.
I use my 3 missiles here. I get another missile. I fire it off. Drain because he's going to move. And here you want to shoot the angels, and then this will damage him in between phases. You want to get as much damage out as possible. There is a limit to how much damage you can do,
Rare, but
uh,
oh, I hit him.
so
Sweet.
keep that in mind. Uh, Once again,
Okie
jump
dokie.
cancel
This fight
until
is going
I get him to
so far.
phase, and then I can just drain it. Again, just more shooting angels.
Oh yeah, that trophy's not too hard to get.
I think I do get a little bit greedy here, but
Although for some odd
it's not
reason it took
too
me a few
bad.
tries to get it. Oh god. Oh god. For some odd reason it took me a few tries to get it.
So with that laser,
Oh god.
uh,
Oh god.
I
No,
think
stop that, Eugene. Few tries to get
if
it.
I wanted to do this differently,
Although for some odd reason
I would probably bait it toward the pillar
it
and
took me a
just
few
kind
tries
of
to get it.
hide behind cover, and then I can go about draining it. I actually
No,
almost
stop
die
that,
here.
Eugene. No, I missed.
That's the main thing you want to keep an eye out on
Okay.
is his laser.
I saved.
But the main thing to keep in mind is that you never want to drain uh, without actually like canceling it until after he's phasing,
Okay.
pretty much immediately.
Oh, you did DJX? Nice. Nice.
And I get my 4th missile just waiting for him to spawn. So this will be an immediate
Oh, was that
phase.
hyped up? Okay. I
Go
don't know
back
what
and
I was
drain
thinking there,
smoke.
but oh well.
Uh,
I don't know what I was
if you
thinking there,
really
honestly.
want to time this perfectly, you would leave after the 3rd missile and immediately start shooting them. I didn't really do that. It was a little late, but you really just wanted to optimize it there.
Hey, Vamasai.
Now, another thing to keep in mind here is that there's actually a delay on the shield. So if you fire off a missile
Hey,
fast
Vamasai.
enough, like I did here, you can get a
I forgot
hit
to.
before the shield comes up, and then you
I,
can
I forgot to ask
shoot
how
the
you're doing
angel.
today. That's what I was trying to say. But like, nope, bad English. You got platinum in this game? Nice. I got platinum before I started speedrunning this. I don't know if I'm gonna do enough damage. Am I gonna do enough damage? I
So you
don't know if I'm
see
gonna do
he's
enough damage.
basically at 1 HP.
I
I
did.
got the hit.
Hooray!
and you can
Okay,
skip
I
the
saved this
shield
run.
angels entirely.
So for this, I don't know if you know this or not,
So
but if you
basically, this is when you don't have any
use your
powers, and
spear or any other
you know,
perk for that matter, except for jumping,
once you say not a great start,
he'll say a
you
bunch of
pretty
other
much
stuff,
do nothing but
and it'll
move,
activate this dialogue,
and you wait for dialogue,
and then don't do anything, and it'll be
and
like
then
2
you can
seconds.
just wait for Reggie to appear here. I think he T poses, if I'm not mistaken. There he is. T pose Reggie.
Do the same strat.
So
Do the same
I think the
strat.
main thing is you just use your ability, and then you can walk straight to the next core relay. Uh, the only issue with this is that you still have to wait for Reggie, so there's literally nothing you can do
Very
in the
true.
meantime, aside from stare into Delsin's soul. Now, this fight is a little awkward
Crap, I forgot
because
to make the video before I
you
did it.
have very little to work with.
Whoops.
The main thing is that you want to use invisibility before you get into
Whoops.
combat so that you can get a free kill. Uh,
I mean, some vents are bad
this is the
vents,
main thing. I
so
think another thing
just
you
don't
can
do
do
them.
is
I'm not entirely sure why.
you can jump and slam,
It might be because of
and then of course the other thing you can do is melee. But the issue with that
not
is
exactly.
it's really slow, and that's like the main issue with
Pyro, you're back. Car strat. Yeah. Okay.
just a very very minor movement optimization here. Just
Yeah,
using
car
cars to
strats.
your
The
advantage.
best. I rarely get that. I didn't even get it last run. Fight by derping. And then last run I kind of messed up this fight by derping.
Okay. This fight here is
Alright.
basically just knowing where they spawn,
Really
and then I think
only
they.
has
Yeah,
one life.
oh no, they don't. Okay, so you can kill them in one melee hit and then one slam.
The other way around, and that's what I like to do.
To see, I
Okay,
get
I have 4 shards
a bunch
left,
of
by the way.
upgrades.
'Cause
This is
I don't
where
have any
video
ammo.
becomes the fastest way of transportation.
Pyro, I hate you. We.
And the main thing is making use of satellites and just buildings in general, whether it's to, in that case, gain height or otherwise you get there quicker. Uh, you could potentially dash out of this stun animation here. The problem is that if you dash, there's a high chance that you're going to fly away through the satellites.
I hate that. Like,
This
I regret
is
just.
another one of those times where an enemy could potentially hit you out of draining fat. It's just something to keep in mind.
We'll see in a second. Well, not a
And
second.
another thing, and since you're not
We'll see
killing
in a
those
second.
enemies that are around the core relay,
Not a
what you
second.
want to do is you want to actually come behind the EPCs. That way you can hit all the enemies uh, around here, and that's the most
You'll see
important thing
soon
because I believe
the cargo.
the next part starts after combat ends. You'll see I'm trying to get all the PvP out of here.
Did I not kill? Okay. Kill him. Kill him.
Once they're all down, though, you can pretty much get all these shards here. And I think what I'm trying, okay. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get my super.
Why is that? Okay, I'm gonna get evil karma.
So take note of how much karma I have. It's kind of hard to see in this quality though, but there are times where, like right here, where I'll get extra evil karma to set up for later because you want to have good timing. Okay, so here's the construction site. So the main thing here is you want to go through each of these areas, break all the like wooden barricades. And then the main thing here is just getting to each cargo as fast as possible. Now, the timings on these can be, they're pretty much dependent on how fast you can get to each one. So if you get there really early, it's going to be really far below like it is here. And then you can do a similar sort of thing for, say, the next one. Right here. And then this one here, this one, if you get here fast enough, it'll be low enough to where you can actually get on top of it. However, if you aren't fast enough, you're probably going to have to wait for it to come back down. Or I think there was another satellite, yeah, right here that you could probably use. So you just have to be aware of your timings here. The faster, the better, really, obviously. But now here I grab neon purely because again the neon super is just way better. And I use this to clear out all the PvP here. Now, basically what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the APCs to spawn in, like right here, and that's when I use the super. So that's why you see me just grabbing shards. So ideally, every single DP would be dead here, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. But you could go smoke to get missiles and just kill them instantly. Uh, I feel like that would be better, but as long as you come fast enough, it's fine. And the main thing for these guys is you just want to spam them with missiles. They're not too bad as long as they don't put up stones in front of them. And you'll see I'm positioned here so that I can drain this video after I kill the first guy. And then that makes killing the second guy a lot easier. Now, you could use your super on those guys. I don't really think it's worth it. I don't think it's even really worth it using it here, but you could. I think this fight could be better if there was a smoke outlet that you could jump cancel, and you can just spam cinder missiles, preferably high up so that you can just fire straight down, have a bird's eye view of everyone, that sort of thing. Um, so I think this has potential to save time. So here, as I was about to explain, you want to stand here and do nothing. The reason being that if you were to go down and get shards, uh, it would actually delay the dialogue coming up for this quest here. You'll see I wait 22 seconds ish. So once he says Delson, you need TV, you go straight to this building here, and you actually won't lose any time. So the fastest thing to do is nothing. And then you'll see here in this next fight, I use my super. And actually, you'll see here too. I pre-position myself up on this roof so I can get a free kill. And then I jump down and get the second free kill.
Hello, Nightwalk. How are you doing?
So what I'll do is I position myself so that the APC comes up in front of me, and then that APC is in view.
You're gonna wreck my face with your whole just existence and Shrek stuff.
As you can see, perfect timing there.
I did that way too late.
Just okay. Well, according to me, I did that way too late. But you just want to use your super and have it rain down as this APC is coming up to you.
I did that.
That would be the ideal. So by now, you should have wiped out everyone. It's possible you'll have a few stragglers.
Pyro, I swear I'm going to just murder your face at some point in time. I'm going
Okay,
to
so
murder your face at some point in time.
leave right here. I'm waiting for a dialogue. And then, yeah, you'll see Hank flying across here.
I will do it.
So timing here is key. If you get here too early,
Pyro,
if you keep going too early, you'll have to go back.
I will do it.
Then you can continue the chase here.
Yeah, this guy was
Now,
Shrek.
here's something that I've learned, unfortunately. If you go to the next area too quick, and I'll show you, it's over this way, your game will crash. So, unfortunately, the strat here is to, again, do nothing until Delson says that he scared him off. Um, at least that was happening with me. I don't know if that's like consistent across, other people's runs.
It worked.
Again, that's just another thing that needs testing. If you could go earlier, obviously that would be ideal. But if your game crashes,
Is there a way to take down
it
video
can't.
links on YouTube?
Okay. So this is yet another fight
He's not
that
following
I
back.
think could be optimized. The main thing to consider
Did I hit it?
is that you want to take out these helicopters first.
I hit it that time.
I think the best way to do that is to just spam missiles with video,
Hey, watch the language.
or just whatever you have.
No,
Most
stop
likely video.
that, Delson.
As you can see there,
That
I
was bad.
there's a lot of mistakes in this run, which I'm
Talked about
really
this
surprised with.
sometime never, but we talked about this.
I think the best thing to do for this fight is to take everyone out using missiles, and then go invisible right before you hit the generator.
I did that quickly.
Okay, so
Okay, so
here's
last
another
run.
key part of the run. You
Well,
want to be as efficient as
this guy
possible when killing these guys.
every single time
Again, if
got
they're
to
grouped
a
up, you can either use Cinder Missile or, well, ideally Cinder Missile,
so
and then a backup would be
luckily it didn't happen.
to
So
use, again,
I
whatever
don't
the
know what's gonna
R2,
come
the
by.
can't even remember what it's called.
That might have been why last run failed, is because like all the spawns got like weirded out.
Again,
Like they were all
Cinder
different.
Missile spam, very, very important,
Your cat walked
especially on
into
this
the wall.
guy. Now,
Interesting.
I think what can happen is you'll see there I insta killed him. Uh, if you don't do enough damage, he will go into this sort of healing state where if you don't kill him, he will heal, as similar to earlier during the first time you fight him. So just keep that in mind.
I just hit. Okay, that was a triple kill, and that was cool. You have to admit. Okay, let's hope Hank
Now,
decides.
the main thing that you want from this, the main thing here is you want to keep your super at all costs. Okay, so do not die.
That's right.
You want to make sure you don't lose your streak.
No, Hank, stop.
And then you see right here, Hank is
Okay.
basically trolling. Now,
Okay.
this will happen, or this could happen, I should say, if you're in combat. You'll see Hank is currently aggroed on the guys back there. Sometimes you'll get lucky. Sometimes you'll have this run.
No.
So
No, Hank.
just be aware that
Stop. Hank,
you could go back and kill him,
okay.
or you could just keep trying, unless, of
Not
course, they
this
jump on
fast.
the platform that you're on right now.
Okay.
So at this part,
So
the
let's
main
hope
thing you want to keep in
stop.
mind is you don't want to
Let's
die.
hope these guys start
Those
shooting.
guys won't shoot you for the most part. I think that I've had runs where they have shot me.
He didn't though, so that's good.
And then with this, you just want to keep in mind your healing. You want to be aware of the timing of the turrets, basically. Um, if you're about to die, like right here, just wait until you're healed.
Well, never
Again,
mind,
play
because
it
I
safe.
don't really do biscuits.
I
Yeah, no.
play it safe here,
That is the point.
and that's
But
basically it. After that point,
fight coverage.
you just go up,
Like
see the cutscene
very
here.
distance.
Oh wait, hold on. There's so I think right here you could Cinder Missile, and I'm not really sure why I don't.
Okay.
You could
Uh,
save like maybe a second or two
actually
because
no.
it goes on pretty
It was
quick.
up. Sorry, it's left.
So after this cutscene, you have what's called the
I'm
Super
gonna
Dust.
maybe I could skip.
Basically, for the first few frames of the cutscene ending, you actually have the ability to use your super. And what happens is the following,
Entire first half by
where this
automatically
happens.
overdropping.
You can't really
What
do
the heck?
anything. You can't even really jump. The only way you can jump is
So
by
you do this,
forcing a jump animation with
and you want to
this.
run into this,
And once you do that, you want to grab on a ledge, you want to climb up, and then that will cause
climb
the
on that
next
ledge,
part
then crawl up.
to happen. I'm sort of
Okay,
explaining it on top of myself, but whatever.
they're like the most unnecessary things ever.
And then the main thing about this fight is just spam, spam missiles, and abuse
Okie dokie.
jump canceling.
Doing good just for now.
So for this part, you can get these guys a little quicker than this.
One
I
down.
believe it takes 3 missiles to kill one, but you want to be pre-positioned to where
Okie dokie.
you can actually see them. Unlike this run here, which I have my back turned, they were already on the ground. Yeah, 3 missiles and they're dead. Once they're dead, I can get full missiles for later, and then as soon as I'm able to use my super. So the main thing, again, Cinder Missile spam. Uh, Ideally, you want to be as efficient as possible. The moment that you get your Karmic Streak, you go up and you use your Neon ults. This should take out all of them.
Yay, nobody survived.
And once you get that, you're positioned to get video immediately, and then you can run straight to the next area.
Perfect fight there. Now I have to hope for a fast fight with the
As you can see, I'm trying to abuse
that goes well, then
momentum here.
I should be totally fine. That
Ideally, it'd be a lot cleaner than this, but it's just another
don't say that again.
slight movement
You know what?
increase.
You know what? How about this? I won't say that again if you don't mention strats. So
And you can just keep doing this even after
use a
passing
sprint
by
and
the
slip and slide.
original objectives there.
Stop
I
it.
think, okay. So the best way to approach this fight would be to just missile spam these guys. I think it was silly that I didn't because you can just drain video right here. And then you can use those missiles to take out the helicopter.
Kind of.
Is you can shoot him while you're flying over to him,
Nope.
kind of save as much time as you possibly can.
This run.
And then, of course, again, you hold R2 for the last time.
Good several times.
Okay, so
Only reason I'm good is
this
because
should happen pretty much every single time, but this will appear and you can just ride on it for
what is
a
happening?
good amount of time.
But like we
You
haven't
just
seen Craig in a
you
while,
ride it
right?
until I think it's right here. We see a
He actually
hotel sign,
messaged me on PSN
and
saying
you
he
just
got addicted to a game
fly toward the
Speedrun
objective.
Explained. Not entirely sure, Pyro.
All right. So make note of my karma here. It's very, very, very close to leveling up. If you're not at this point, uh, and you are
I'm not entirely sure,
you
Pyro,
want to get
because
closer to leveling up, I believe there is a yeah, there's a little bit right here. I think where you can destroy a like a conduit cage, and that should give you a good amount of evil karma. See it right there. I grabbed this shard because why not? Just waiting for dialogue at this point.
shards, I can handle that.
So just keep that in mind. You want to be prepared, karmic speaking.
Nelson,
And then we
dialogue,
come up
dialogue.
to the Mega Event glitch.
Okay. On weekends, and that was a fail. No.
Okay.
This should be high enough.
And ideally, you would be high enough to where you don't have
It's
to
not high enough.
do
Oh
this.
my god.
If that happens,
Backup strats.
like in the run,
Backup
you can
strats.
just wall
So
climb and you should be
my
okay.
god, I don't even know anymore.
And then this was a mystery to me. I don't know how this happened. This is the final thing that I could not replicate, but it would save, a good what 10, 15, 20 seconds, somewhere around that range.
Save the run.
So that's an interesting cutscene skip.
Oh my god.
If you can perfectly replicate this
Oh my god.
every single time, then that would be a good time saver.
Wow. Okay. I saved the run
The rest of
somehow.
this is pretty
I
straightforward.
don't know how,
There are
but
some
I
bits
did
that
it.
you can skip. Uh,
I don't know how.
there's an invisible wall here, so you don't even have to go up this. You can actually
I don't know
do
how.
that. And you want to do the same thing here. Uh, I don't know if there's the same or a similar cutscene skip here, but
What is happening?
again, further experimentation required.
This is so derp. So derp.
So after you reach Eugene, you go straight up
So
to the top
derp.
and then you drop straight off. And what this will do is it'll put you at the very top of the tower.
Was fetch up
And
yet?
then this right here is where you get your karmic streak. You just keep killing enemies until you level up.
Alright, sweet.
You'll see right here.
Alright, sweet. I'm gonna get the strat.
And
Oh,
then
yes.
you can just chill up in the air.
Alright.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is that it is important to to stay up in the air because
Oh no.
when you're in the air, it doesn't actually level you up. Yeah, you level up
leveled up.
and you get your karmic streak
I
here,
can't skip myself.
and this trivializes the fight. The main thing for this fight
You mean whiskey?
is
If you mean
dodging
like this
projectiles
game.
and getting efficient slams. So just wait.
Close enough.
So first one here, I get the shrapnel. I think I upgrade this, but I'm not.
Thing I do want to try is doing this. Or not. That didn't work. It didn't work.
Do I die here?
Whoops.
No.
Yeah, Pyro. Mohawk was here last night, actually.
Don't do what I did
For some
here.
reason,
Just
it's
shoot the
working
boss.
like crazy right now.
You could. I want to say you could potentially use a slam. When she dips her head.
Stuff, which is pretty bad.
So you can see now, I'm
Hear that.
going ahead and upgrading my shrapnel. And here's where the fight really starts to pick up. What you want to do is every time she rolls around,
Hear that.
that's the prime time to use a slam.
Ah, crap. I lost some time there.
Now,
Yeah.
ideally, you would do enough damage to where she phases
Crap. I
immediately.
lost some time there.
But
Yeah, I lost some time there.
you can see I picked it up after a few shots,
I'm not
but
sure
a
if
few seconds could be saved there.
be like my own. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
Again, just getting upgrades. I go for the slam again, and you'll see I do I do a lot of damage, like a lot of damage
Holy
here.
nutballs. That damage. What happened to your freaking face? That's what I was trying to do last run. Um yeah.
Yeah, so that's the ideal situation there, right?
Can I get the magical one shot? Or
Now, what I'm referring to here with the magical one shot is I believe there was one time where I slammed right on top of her head, and it just I think it phased because I think there's still more phase left.
nope, that
I
was the
didn't
one
get it
time.
there, obviously. In fact, I did like no damage at all. But as you can see, for whatever reason, uh, the game just crashed, and I don't know why. Yeah, but again, she went to a ball. I recognized it, and I mean, really, it was more of a thing of I was preparing for it by being in the air beforehand. I went for the slam, and
Oh
it
my
killed
god.
my game. And that's the run.